Our marriage was completely monotonous and failing, so we did something that changed everything. My name's Noah, and I'm 40 years old. Sophia and I have been married for 15 years, and I'm at a point where I'm questioning everything. The excitement and joy that once filled our lives together have faded into a dull routine. What we have now is a shell of what used to be a vibrant and loving relationship. It's like we're just going through the motions, living side by side but not really connecting. The truth is, our marriage has become monotonous. Every day feels the same. We wake up, go to work, come home, eat dinner, and go to bed. There's no spontaneity, no adventure, just a predictable cycle that we've fallen into. It's like we're stuck in a loop, and neither of us knows how to break free. The spark that once ignited our passion seems to have vanished, leaving us with a sense of emptiness and frustration. I remember when we first met, how everything felt new and exciting. Sophia was full of life, and I was captivated by her energy. We laughed together, dreamed together, and everything seemed possible. But now, those moments feel like they belong to another lifetime. I can't even pinpoint when things started to change. Was it gradual, or was there a specific moment when we lost our way? All I know is that we're now living in a rut that feels impossible to escape. The conversations we have about this are always painful. We both feel it, but neither of us knows how to fix it. Last week, we had another one of those heart-to-heart talks that end up feeling more like shouting matches than discussions. Sophia told me she felt like our marriage was suffocating her. She was tired of the routine, tired of feeling like we were just coasting through life without any real connection. I felt the same way, but hearing her voice, her frustrations made me realize just how far we've drifted apart. We argued about what went wrong, about the things we used to do that we don't anymore. I told her that I missed the excitement, the way we used to surprise each other. She agreed, but didn't have any answers. We both wanted change, but neither of us knew where to start. It was like we were stuck in quicksand, trying to pull each other out, but sinking deeper with every attempt. As we spoke, I could see the pain in her eyes. Sophia was trying to be strong, but it was clear she was struggling. I felt a deep sadness, not just for us, but for the future we seemed to be losing. We both wanted to fix things, but we were so entangled in our everyday lives that finding a way out felt impossible. Sophia suggested that we needed to do something drastic to shake things up. At first, I was hesitant. The idea of taking a huge leap felt intimidating. But deep down, I knew she was right. We needed to break free from the monotony, to do something that would challenge us and bring us closer together. It was either that, or accept that our marriage had become a series of unremarkable days strung together. After thinking about it, we decided to make a bold choice. We would try something completely out of our comfort zone. We both needed a jolt, something that would push us out of our routine and force us to reconnect. We talked about various options, from taking a spontaneous trip to doing something adventurous we'd never tried before. The goal was to find an experience that would reignite the spark between us and remind us of why we fell in love in the first place. The conversation was emotional, filled with uncertainty and hope. We knew that what we were planning might not work, but it felt like the only option we had left. We were ready to take a risk, to face the unknown together, in the hopes of finding a way back to each other. The decision to do something drastic wasn't made lightly. We both understood that it was a gamble. There was a real possibility that it might not solve our problems, that it could even make things worse. But we were at a point where we couldn't afford to be passive anymore. We needed to take action, to fight for our relationship, and make an effort to restore what we had lost. In the days following our decision, there was a sense of nervous excitement between us. We were preparing for this new chapter, trying to remain optimistic despite our fears. We knew it wouldn't be easy, but we were determined to give it our best shot. The monotony that had defined our marriage for so long was about to be challenged, and we hoped that the outcome would be a renewed sense of connection and purpose. As we moved forward, the weight of the past 15 years hung over us. The comfort of routine had been replaced by the uncertainty of what lay ahead. But despite the fear and doubts, there was also a glimmer of hope. We were about to embark on a journey that could either lead us back to each other or force us to confront the reality of our relationship. Either way, it was a step towards change, a chance to reshape our marriage and find out if we still had what it took to make it work. Our journey wasn't going to be easy, but it was a chance we were willing to take. The breaking point had come, and we were ready to face it head-on. After our heartfelt discussion about the state of our marriage, Sophia and I knew that we needed to do something radical to break free from the monotony that had settled into our lives. We were both aware that our routine had become a cage, trapping us in a cycle that we couldn't seem to escape. So we decided to take a bold step, something completely out of our comfort zone that would force us to reconnect and reignite the passion we once shared. Sophia had always been the more adventurous one between us. She loved trying new things and pushing boundaries, while I had become accustomed to the safety of our routine. But in this moment, we both agreed that embracing something new and daring was exactly what we needed. We needed a jolt, something that would shake us out of our stale patterns and remind us of the excitement we once had. We spent the next few days brainstorming ideas, tossing around various possibilities for our big adventure. It was exciting to think about all the different things we could do, but it was also a little overwhelming. We wanted to choose something that would be challenging, but also meaningful. We knew it had to be something that would bring us closer together, not just a distraction from our problems. After much discussion, we decided on a road trip across the country. It wasn't just any road trip. We planned to visit places we'd never been before and take on activities we'd always talked about but never done. The idea was to get out of our comfort zones and experience new things together, rediscovering our sense of adventure and hopefully reigniting the spark in our relationship. The planning process was both exhilarating and stressful. We had to decide on the route, the places we wanted to visit, and the activities we wanted to try. Sophia was in charge of researching the best spots and planning the itinerary, while I took on the task of handling the logistics and making sure we had everything we needed for the trip. It was a collaborative effort, and it felt good to be working on something together again. As the departure date approached, we packed our bags with a mix of excitement and nervousness. We were both eager to start this new chapter, but also anxious about what lay ahead. The road trip was going to be a test of our patience and teamwork, and we knew it wouldn't be without its challenges. But we were ready to face them together, hoping that this experience would help us reconnect and rediscover the joy in our relationship. On the morning of our departure, there was a sense of anticipation in the air. We loaded the car with our bags and supplies, and as we set out on the open road, I felt a surge of optimism. It was the beginning of a new adventure, a chance to leave behind our old routines and embrace something fresh and exciting. Our first stop was a charming little town with a famous local festival. We spent the day exploring the area, trying out new foods, and enjoying the lively atmosphere. It was refreshing to be in a new environment, free from the constraints of our everyday lives. We laughed more in that one day than we had in months, and it was a reminder of how much we enjoyed each other's company when we were not bogged down by routine. As the trip continued, we faced a few unexpected challenges. There were car troubles, changes in our plans due to weather, and occasional disagreements about the itinerary. But these challenges, rather than pushing us apart, seemed to bring us closer together. We learned to communicate better, to compromise, and to support each other through the rough patches. It was a test of our patience and commitment, but it also showed us how much we were willing to work together to make our relationship better. One of the most memorable experiences was a spontaneous hike we decided to take on a whim. It was challenging both physically and mentally, but it ended up being one of the highlights of our trip. As we climbed the trail, we talked about our hopes and dreams, about our past and our future. The hike was tough, but reaching the summit and seeing the breathtaking view made it all worth it. It was a powerful reminder of how we could overcome obstacles and achieve something great when we worked together. Each day of the trip brought new experiences and discoveries. We tried new activities, explored unfamiliar places, and made wonderful memories together. The excitement of the journey helped us to reconnect and rediscover the things that we loved about each other. The monotony of our daily lives was replaced by the thrill of new adventures, and it was exactly what we needed to rekindle the flame in our relationship. By the end of the trip, we both felt a renewed sense of closeness and appreciation for each other. The road trip had been more than just a change of scenery. It had been a transformative experience that helped us to see each other in a new light. We had faced challenges, embraced new experiences, and strengthened our bond in ways we hadn't anticipated. As we returned home, we knew that our journey wasn't over. The road trip had been a powerful step towards revitalizing our marriage. But it was just the beginning. We were more connected and more in tune with each other than we had been in years, and we were determined to carry the lessons we had learned into our everyday lives. The bold decision to embark on this adventure had changed everything for us. It had brought us closer together, reignited our passion, and reminded us of the joy we could find in each other's company. We were ready to continue our journey, both on the road and in our relationship, with a renewed sense of hope and excitement. Our road trip was meant to be a fresh start, a way to shake off the monotony and reignite the spark in our relationship. But as we ventured further from home, we quickly discovered that our bold decision came with its own set of unexpected challenges. At first, everything seemed to go smoothly. We were having a great time, enjoying the novelty of new places and activities. But then, as we drove through a remote area on our way to a picturesque town, our car suddenly broke down. It happened so abruptly that neither of us had time to react. One moment, we were chatting and enjoying the scenery, and the next, we were stranded on the side of the road with a car that wouldn't start. The initial shock quickly turned into frustration. We both felt helpless as we tried to figure out what was wrong with the car. Sophia was visibly upset, and I could see the worry in her eyes. It was the first real test of our trip, and it wasn't going according to plan. We tried to stay calm and focused. I made a few phone calls to roadside assistance, but they informed us it would take a few hours for someone to reach us. In the meantime, we had no choice but to wait. The situation was far from ideal, and it was challenging to keep our spirits up. We were both tired, and the stress of the situation began to take its toll. As we waited, we found ourselves arguing about how to handle the situation. I was frustrated with the delay and worried about the impact on our plans. Sophia was frustrated with the breakdown itself and worried about the growing tension between us. It was a difficult moment, and it seemed like our trip, which had started so positively, was now turning into a major ordeal. Eventually, the tow truck arrived, and we were taken to a nearby mechanic. The repair took longer than we expected, and we had to spend the night in a small town with limited accommodations. The situation was far from what we had envisioned, and it felt like our adventure was slipping away from us. Despite the challenges, there were moments of clarity during this ordeal. We had to rely on each other more than ever. The breakdown tested our patience and our ability to handle stress together. We had to communicate more effectively and support each other through the frustration. It wasn't easy, but we were learning to navigate these difficulties as a team. The unexpected challenge of the car breakdown was a wake-up call. It made us realize that our trip wasn't just about having fun and exploring new places. It was also about how we handled adversity and worked together through tough times. We started to see the breakdown as a metaphor for our relationship. Just like our car needed fixing, our marriage needed attention and effort to overcome its issues. After the car was repaired, we continued our journey, but the experience had left a mark on us. We had faced a significant challenge and managed to get through it together. It was a reminder that our relationship wasn't perfect and that we would encounter obstacles along the way. What mattered was how we dealt with those challenges and how we supported each other. As we continued our trip, we encountered more surprises. Some were minor annoyances, like weather changes that forced us to adjust our plans, while others were more significant, like getting lost in a remote area without a reliable GPS signal. Each of these challenges tested our patience and our ability to stay positive. One particularly memorable incident was when we decided to go on a kayaking adventure. It seemed like a fun idea, But the reality was much more challenging than we anticipated. The current was stronger, and we struggled to keep the kayak on course. At one point, we found ourselves caught in a difficult spot, and it felt like we were going in circles. Sophia was frustrated, and I was feeling overwhelmed. We were both tired and ready to give up. But instead of letting the situation drive us apart, we had to work together to navigate through it. We communicated, reassured each other, and made a plan to get back on track. It was a physically and emotionally draining experience, but it also brought us closer. When we finally made it back to shore, we felt a sense of accomplishment. The kayaking adventure had been tough, but we had faced it together. It was a clear reminder that even in difficult situations, we could find strength in each other. The experience taught us that our relationship could withstand challenges, and that our bond was stronger than we realized. Throughout the rest of the trip, we continued to face unexpected challenges. Some were frustrating, and others were just part of the adventure. But each obstacle brought us closer together and helped us see our relationship in a new light. We learned to appreciate each other's strengths and to support each other through difficulties. By the end of the trip, we had not only experienced new places and activities, but had also grown as a couple. The challenges we faced had tested our patience and commitment, but they had also shown us how resilient and supportive we could be. We were starting to understand that the true strength of our relationship came from our ability to face problems together and come out stronger on the other side. The road trip had been a journey of discovery, both of the world around us and of our relationship. The unexpected challenges had taught us valuable lessons and had brought us closer together. As we returned home, we were ready to face the future with a renewed sense of connection and understanding. As we continued our road trip, the unexpected challenges we faced began to transform into moments of growth and connection. The rough patches and obstacles had tested our patience, but they also started to reignite a spark that had dimmed over the years. We were rediscovering the passion and connection that had been missing from our marriage. It wasn't just about the big moments or the grand gestures. The small, everyday experiences of our trip became opportunities for us to reconnect. Simple things like sharing a meal at a local diner or watching the sunset together became significant. We found ourselves enjoying each other's company in a way we hadn't in a long time. One evening, we stayed in a cozy cabin by a lake. After a day filled with hiking and exploring, we sat on the porch, wrapped in blankets, and watched the stars. The quiet of the night and the beauty of the setting created a serene atmosphere. We talked about our dreams, our fears, and our hopes for the future. It was a conversation that felt genuine and intimate, a stark contrast to the superficial talks we had been having back home. We were rediscovering each other's thoughts and feelings in a way that felt fresh and exciting. As we faced challenges like the kayaking mishap or dealing with car troubles, we had to rely on each other more than ever. These moments forced us to communicate more openly and honestly. We began to appreciate each other's strengths and support each other in ways we hadn't before. The stress and frustration of these challenges also brought us closer, as we learned to lean on each other and find solace in our partnership. Our shared experiences became a catalyst for renewed passion. Each obstacle we overcame together was a testament to our resilience and commitment. We started to remember why we fell in love in the first place. The joy and excitement of our trip reminded us of the thrill of discovering new things together. One of the most memorable experiences was when we decided to take a hot air balloon ride. It was something we had always talked about, but never done. As we floated above the landscape, the breathtaking views and the shared sense of adventure brought us closer. We held hands and marveled at the world below, feeling a sense of unity and exhilaration. The ride was a metaphor for our journey, rising above the mundane and seeing things from a new perspective. Another moment that reignited our passion was when we spent a night camping under the stars. Away from the distractions of everyday life, we found ourselves talking for hours around the campfire. We reminisced about our early days together and reflected on the growth we had experienced as a couple. The simplicity of the camping experience allowed us to focus on each other and the bond we shared. As we continued our journey, we began to notice how our interactions had changed. We laughed more, touched more, and expressed our affection more openly. The challenges we faced had made us more appreciative of each other. We were no longer just going through the motions of our relationship. We were actively engaging with each other and nurturing our connection. The road trip had become a journey of rediscovery. We were uncovering aspects of each other that had been overshadowed by the routine of daily life. We were finding joy in each other's company and cherishing the moments we spent together. Our passion for each other was being rekindled, and it was a beautiful process to witness. There were moments when we would simply sit together, holding hands and enjoying the silence. These quiet moments of togetherness were just as meaningful as the adventurous activities. They reminded us of the comfort and security we found in each other's presence. As we neared the end of our trip, we felt a profound sense of renewal. The journey had not only been about exploring new places, but also about exploring each other. We had faced challenges, shared new experiences, and rediscovered the passion that had been missing from our relationship. We were returning home with a renewed sense of connection and a deeper appreciation for each other. The trip had given us the opportunity to reflect on our relationship and to see it through a new lens. We had faced obstacles together, celebrated small victories, and learned to communicate more effectively. The experience had strengthened our bond and reminded us of the love and passion that had always been there, waiting to be rediscovered. As we prepared to return to our everyday lives, we knew that the journey wasn't over. The road trip had been a transformative experience. But it was up to us to continue nurturing the passion and connection we had rekindled. We were determined to carry the lessons we had learned into our daily lives and to keep the flame of our relationship burning bright. The road trip had been a turning point for us, a chance to rediscover the joy of being together and to rekindle the passion that had once defined our relationship. We were returning home with a renewed sense of hope and excitement for the future, ready to embrace the new beginning that awaited us. As we pulled into our driveway after weeks on the road, the familiar surroundings of home felt both comforting and different. The road trip had been a journey of rediscovery, not just of new places but of each other and our relationship. We were back in our everyday lives, but we knew things had changed. Our experience had given us a new perspective, and we were ready to embrace this new beginning. Our home, which had once felt monotonous and routine, now seemed like a canvas for a fresh start. We unloaded the car, each item reminding us of the adventures and challenges we had faced. Every souvenir and photo was a token of the journey we had taken together and the growth we had experienced as a couple. We spent the first few days settling back into our routine, but this time with a renewed sense of purpose. Our conversations were more meaningful, and we made a conscious effort to reconnect with the things we enjoyed doing together. We started planning regular date nights and found new activities that excited us both. The spark that had been rekindled on our trip was now fueling our daily lives. One evening, as we sat together on the couch reflecting on our trip, we talked about the impact it had on us. We realized that the challenges we faced had taught us valuable lessons about patience, communication, and resilience. We were no longer just going through the motions of our relationship. We were actively working to make it better. We decided to create a memory book to commemorate our journey. It wasn't just a collection of photos and souvenirs, but also a reflection of our experiences and the changes we had undergone. As we flipped through the pages, we shared our thoughts and feelings about each adventure and challenge. It was a meaningful way to acknowledge how far we had come and to remind ourselves of the commitment we had made to each other. Our journey had also given us a deeper understanding of ourselves and each other. We had learned to appreciate the small moments and the simple joys of being together. We were more patient and empathetic, and we found ourselves more attuned to each other's needs and desires. The trip had been a catalyst for this growth, and we were determined to continue building on it. We also took time to revisit some of the places we had enjoyed during our trip. It was a way to relive the positive experiences and to reinforce the changes we had made. Whether it was revisiting a favorite restaurant or taking a walk in the park where we had shared deep conversations, these activities helped us integrate the lessons we had learned into our everyday lives. As we settled into our new routine, we made a pact to keep the spirit of our journey alive. We committed to regularly checking in with each other, discussing our feelings, and supporting each other's dreams and goals. We knew that maintaining a strong relationship required ongoing effort and communication, and we were both dedicated to making that a priority. One of the most profound changes was the way we approached conflict. Instead of letting disagreements fester, we worked on addressing issues openly and constructively. The challenges we had faced on our trip had taught us the importance of tackling problems together and finding solutions that worked for both of us. Our ability to handle conflicts with grace and understanding was a testament to the growth we had achieved. We also embraced the idea of setting new goals and dreams as a couple. Our trip had shown us that adventure and excitement were important to both of us, and we wanted to keep that sense of exploration alive. We started planning new adventures, whether it was a weekend getaway or a new hobby we wanted to explore together. These plans gave us something to look forward to and helped us stay connected. Celebrating our new beginning wasn't just about acknowledging the changes we had made. It was also about appreciating the journey that had brought us to this point. We were grateful for the challenges we had faced and the growth we had achieved. Our relationship was stronger and more vibrant than it had been in years, and we were excited about the future. As we looked back on our trip, we saw it as a turning point in our lives. It had transformed our marriage and given us a renewed sense of connection and passion. We had faced difficulties and emerged from them with a deeper understanding of each other and a stronger bond. The experience had saved our marriage and set us on a path to a more fulfilling and joyful relationship. In the end, our journey was not just about exploring new places. It was about exploring each other and rediscovering the love and passion that had always been there. We had learned that the key to a strong relationship was not just about avoiding challenges, but about facing them together and growing from them. Our new beginning was a celebration of our renewed commitment to each other and our determination to keep our relationship vibrant and strong. We knew that the road ahead would have its own challenges, but we were confident that we had the tools and the understanding to navigate them together. We were ready to embrace this new chapter of our lives with open hearts and a renewed sense of adventure. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our next video. See you next time.